Hello friends, in this video we are going to configure Spring Webflow in our project. As a requirement, the first step we are going to add the dependency whose group ID is Spring Framework.webflow, artifact ID is Spring Webflow. At the time of this recording, the version is 2.4.4.release. So I'm going to copy it, open our pom.xml file of online shopping project. We are going to add the dependency for Spring Webflow and save it. So that's the first requirement before starting any configuration for Spring Webflow. In the next step, we are going to add this Webflow namespace to work with the element of Webflow inside the dispatcher servlet.xml file. So I'm going to open our dispatcher servlet XML file. I'm going to copy one of the existing namespace. We are going to refer it using WF, and the name of the namespace is Webflow config. Now we also have to add the schema definition, so I'm gonna copy it, and it is going to be again this webflow -config here, here and here. So that's the second step. In the third step, we are going to add a flow executor. This flow executor is the entry point for the flow. That's why we are going to add this flow executor. So I'm gonna open and add a comment that we are going to do the Webflow configuration. So we are specifying the entry point for the flow, that is by using the flow executor. One more thing we can add here, that is flow registry. But if you are going to use the default value of flow registry by specifying a flow registry with the ID as flow registry itself, we can avoid writing that attribute. So that is not required. If we are changing the ID of flow registry, then we must use it. So I'm gonna keep it as default only. But why do we require flow registry? So a flow registry is used by a flow executor to locate the flow. That's why we have something called as base path, which will tell where the flow file is. But along with this, we are using something called as location pattern as well. Okay, so I'm gonna use the same one. I'm gonna discuss how this Webflow framework will know which flow to execute when it is triggered. Okay, so it knows by the ID of the flow that we are going to get when we do this type of configuration. But what is going to be the ID? It is not going to be this flow registry. This is for flow executor. Anyways, we are avoiding writing that flow registry. If you want, you can simply write it like this way also. But this ID is to trigger a particular flow. And since we are using a pattern and we are using a base path, the ID is generated a little differently. So let me show you how by an example. So if this is going to be the path, this is going to be the base path. The membership flow file resides in the membership directory. So the flow ID is going to be membership. And if you have sign up flow file inside a directory called as register, so the flow ID is going to be register. If you have multiple directories, that's why these 2 star are there. So we have cart, checkout, and more directories follow. The flow ID is going to be cart followed by checkout. What if you are not using the base path? Then the rule changes. At that time, the flow file name becomes the ID. So we have sign up -flow, so sign up -flow becomes the ID for us. And what if you want to explicitly give the ID? We can simply use the flow location and specify the ID, that is the register, and it could refer to the sign up -flow file. So we have different ways, but if I'm going to use more than one flow file, it's better I should do this type of configuration where it will tell okay where the flow file resides. Now to provide additional configuration, we need to add a flow builder service. So for that, the first requirement is we are going to add a flow builder service here inside of a flow registry. So you can see we have flow builder services, and I'm gonna write here flow builder services like this, and then we can add our flow builder services. Why we require that flow builder services? It's pretty simple. We want to resolve the view So that's why we are adding that flow builder services. So let me add that flow builder services. The ID is going to be flow builder services that we have given here, and inside this also we are going to provide our view factory creator. So it is going to refer a view factory creator. This view factory creator is nothing but a bean that we are going to define shortly. So here we have completed our fifth part by adding a flow builder services. Now Spring Webflow provides a Spring MVC handler adapter called the flow handler adapter. As I have discussed in my previous video, if we are adding Webflow and we want a flow to be executed, we are going to need a flow handler adapter. So this handler adapter is nothing but a bridge between our dispatcher servlet and the flow executor, which is going to handle our request and manipulate the flow based on those requests. That's why we are going to add this particular bean whose class is flow handler adapter, but it is inside the package of Webflow MVC servlet then flow handler adapter. There is one property that is flow executor, and it is referring our flow executor element which we have added inside our dispatcher servlet. So that's why we require this particular bean. So we are going to add this bean also inside our dispatcher servlet. The next bean that we are going to add is flow handler mapping. So now dispatcher servlet knows how to dispatch the request by consulting with one or more handler mapping. For Webflows, flow handler mapping is the one which will help dispatcher servlet to know to which flow we need to send this particular request using our flow handler adapter. Okay, so for that we are going to use this particular bean. As you can see, the fully qualified name is Webflow MVC servlet, but the class name is flow handler mapping. Okay, so we have a property name flow registry, so it knows which flow to call, and we have this property name order value equal to -1. So I'm not going to add this property right now, but I'm gonna add it later, and I'm gonna show you why that property is required and in which scenario we are going to use this. Okay, so I'm just gonna copy it and paste it here. So we have added two beans till now, that is flow handler adapter and flow handler mapping. One more bean we need to add, that is nothing but our view factory creator. So that's our next step, where we are going to add a bean whose ID is view factory creator. If you notice something, the property name is view resolvers, and it is referencing a bean with the ID of view resolver. So I'm just gonna copy this thing and paste it here. So this bean will help me to resolve the view. Now we can use the shorthand also, so I can simply remove this thing and I can simply say here, okay, this property is also not required. Refer view resolver. So this view resolver is nothing but the bean which we have already configured here. That's right. And the class that will help me to resolve the is MVC view factory creator, which is inside our Webflow packages. So we require flow executor, we require flow registry. So flow registry, you can see we are using location pattern, so we can have more than one flows, because we are using this location pattern to locate the particular flow. The ID would be based on this directory path which is related to our base path. We have our flow builder services to resolve the view using our view factory creator bean, so which is taking our view resolver and assigning it in the property with the name of view resolvers. So this is the configuration that is required, except for the one which I have not shown you, that is order, and that I'm going to cover up in the next video. Okay, so in the next video I'm going to show you how we are going to create the membership flow file. Thanks for watching and stay tuned.